What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a quick market update as Bitcoin is getting an absolute rip to the upside right now. And I want to go ahead and show you guys some bullish things popping up on the higher time frames, as well as some things on the lower time frames that we need to be aware of in case these things wind up giving us a move down before we can continue much higher. And I will also be taking a look at some of those key price targets above us and some of those levels that we may be visiting very, very soon at the end of the video. So stick around for that. But before we get into it, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of these urgent market updates or awesome tutorials that we upload to the channel. So, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into those charts. Again, I want to show you the bullish things on the higher time frames, but then I want to come down to those medium to lower time frames and take a look at some things that may be signaling a short-term move to the downside before we get that next big leg up and potentially go for that 30K target. Let's get into it. So, guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart, and as you can see, we absolutely got a rip to the upside, creating a higher high here on our price. Super, super exciting. Now, if you guys saw my market update yesterday morning, you will know that we were looking at the 8-hour time frame, starting to take a look at a pattern that was starting to form here on the higher time frames. We had this somewhat of a bullish pennant starting to form. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was going to kind of develop a little bit more, bounce around in here before we actually broke out, but we did wind up getting an early breakout out of this pennant. Now, the interesting thing about this pattern is that the measured move does wind up bringing you right to about 31K, which is one of the targets that we have to the upside, but we're going to get more into the price targets in just a second. I just wanted to point that out. When you see these bull pennants, guys, they don't always break out 100% of the time to the upside, but they do break up more than they break down. And I will say this one kind of caught me off guard because I did think we would kind of bing bong around here a little bit more, but nonetheless, we did get that breakout. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these higher time frames and some of those things that may indicate a bigger move is incoming, regardless of if we get a short-term cool-off or not. Now, here on the 8-hour, you can see we did confirm that green dot. VWAP is coming straight up for the most part. Not the strongest VWAP I've ever seen, but it does look healthy. But the thing that really looks bullish here, guys, is the money flow. You can see your money flow is smoothly cruising to the upside. Definitely a good sign if we are going to get another big move up. Creeping up these higher hourly time frames, your 10-hour is about to cross over into the green. Your 12-hour is kind of coming out here, kind of rounding off. Not as exciting on the 12-hour. 16-hour, kind of the same thing, kind of just flat there. And then your daily is kind of your bearish case. Still same deal as yesterday. Money flow is still in the red, but this could turn around, guys. It's just going to take a little bit longer for the daily to kind of have that money flow flip back to the upside. And if we come back up to these higher daily time frames, this is where things actually really start looking good. Money flow coming straight up on your 3-day. Your 2-day money flow is looking very, very healthy. Your 4-day as well is kind of flat there, but you are printing a green dot, which will likely drag you deeper into the green. And then your 5-day is getting nice curvature to the upside, looking for that crossover into the green. You are also printing a green dot on this time frame, which would also be a pretty bullish sign, right? Not only are you getting the green dot, but you are also getting your money flow crossing over into the green, or about to cross into the green. And this is really the thing that we are looking at that is making me feel like we could get a bigger move up. Now, coming up to our 6-day. 6-day is the only real time frame here on the higher dailies that does look like it has somewhat of bearish money flow, right? So this money flow is coming out, but just like the daily, this could wind up turning around, but it is just going to take some time. Now, coming up to our weekly, you guys will know we are getting that VWAP flip where we printed this red dot and got that immediate flip right back to the upside, printing a green dot immediately after the red one, which is a bullish sign in my opinion. And you can see finally we are starting to see our money flow coming to the upside. So the money flow coming up on these higher daily time frames is definitely a bullish look, especially with all the green dots. However, guys, if we go ahead and work our way down to some of these lower time frames, there are some things we want to take a look at to prepare ourselves for a potential shorter term pullback. If you guys watched my live stream last night, we were looking at very similar things, looking for that potential incoming pump. However, the medium time frames were calling for some short-term downside, but then that bull pennant just broke out, stepped on all that TA, and we got that breakout. But we were luckily in a long from the bottom of the range, which we'll take a look at in a second. But taking a look at our 5-hour, guys, you can see we are starting to make a little bit of a lower high here on our momentum waves, giving us a pretty extreme bearish divergence. Now, you can see you have your higher high on your price with your lower high on your momentum waves. And that will, if we print that red dot here, you can see our VWAP is coming down now, although the money flow does look good. And that is the more important thing, guys. I want to press that. The money flow coming into the green is much more bullish than this bearish divergence is bearish, right? The money flow indicates the longer-term trend, and the VWAP and the red dots basically just indicate the short-term noise in the market. So just remember that. So I am still definitely leaning bullish because of this money flow, but we have to be aware that we are starting to get these bearish divergences forming on a few different time frames. The 5-hour is one of them, so just be aware of that. This could potentially bring us down before we finally get that move up to this blue box, which is going to be our next major target between about 28.7K and about 31K. Again, that technical breakout target for that bull pennant. But we have to be aware that these bearish divergences could wind up bringing us down. So you are getting it on the 5-hour. Now, you are getting something very similar on the 4-hour with your higher highs on your price action and lower highs on your momentum waves. This is also popping up on the RSI, guys. If you do not have Market Cipher, which is a paid indicator, you could also see this stuff on the RSI with your lower highs. It's also much clearer on your 3-hour. You have your lower highs on your RSI, higher highs on price action, and you are starting to get a reaction off of that. But again, the money flow is thick in the green, guys, not calling for an absolute dump, but this could cool us off in the short term before finally getting that big move up to 30K. But there's no telling. But let's go ahead and check out that 2-hour showing us something very, very similar with lower highs on our RSI and our higher highs on price action. Bearish divergences are starting to pop up here, guys, which again indicates some movement to the downside. And if we come down to our lower time frames, you can see our 45-minute money flow is generally coming out. We have a high here, right? We did come into the red for a tiny bit, and then we came up, but we may just be making a lower high, right? It is generally coming to the downside. And then you could see also your momentum coming down with your price coming up would generally warrant a correction to the downside. 30-minute money flow is starting to teeter out here. 24-minute is starting to curve out. Your 15-minute is also starting to curve out. And on top of that, guys, you want to remember, just like we were looking at yesterday, this was one of the reasons why I did think we could cool off short term before getting our actual move to the upside, is because our VWAPs are cooling off like crazy on these medium time frames. 4-hour is looking for that red dot, and then again, your 3, your 2, and your 1-hour have got those red dots. 2 and 3-hour are printing. 1-hour is confirmed. So, you know, these can definitely cool us off a little bit before getting that next move up to our blue box. But with the way that the money flow looks on the higher time frames, guys, I do think that there is a good chance we get up there. I would just like to see these VWAPs kind of just reset themselves, and I would also love to see that red dot print on the daily reset itself, and then hopefully if we get that green dot, I would love to see this daily kind of come down, print the red dot, and then get that fresh green dot to push us all the way up to much higher prices. And again, guys, remember, looking at the volume, we are within this volume gap, so just be careful. Even these bearish divergences on some of the medium hourly time frames may get stepped on because we are in this massive low volume gap. There is not a lot holding us back from our next target, which is coming in at about 28.7K. And guys, just to take a look at some key levels here, I will say if we're able to hold this box and that winds up being where we're going to get that big move to the upside, I will be looking at this next major target right here at about $28,000. This level's at about 28.4, but remember, $28,000 even is likely going to give you some resistance as well. So between about 28K and this 786 fib level at about 28.8K is going to be the next major level of resistance, or the next major price target. It will get us up to that previous area of consolidation that we've been looking at. We will be testing the lows of that range right about here, which is going to be an important level, because if we could hop above this level, guys, we could potentially potentially get that move up to that $31,000 level to go revisit these highs from the previous range, which will be the completion of that technical target of that bullish pennant on the higher time frames. And as you guys can see, we are in a long position in the premium Discord here. We gave out this setup just looking for a scalp on this little volume profile range, looking for a long from here to the value area high. And then our plan was to see if we were going to get the breakout at that value area high. We take some profit, we let some of the trade ride, and if this thing decides to run, that's where you hold on and you turn a little double into an absolute home run. So maybe we could get this thing to play out a little more. Wound up being a runner. So shout out to anybody in the premium Discord. I am currently in this position. It is a $5,000 position, so not the craziest position ever, guys, but we are up on this trade, looking to be a pretty profitable trade, especially if we could get that run up to this next level. We will be cashing in on that. And if you guys want to sign up for Femex and long or short your favorite altcoins or Bitcoin, they are running a deal right now where they're giving 10% off of all their fees plus a deposit bonus where they give you some extra bonus funds to trade with going all the way through June 14th. And if you guys want to sign up, you can click the link in the description down below. So guys, I wanted to make this a quick market update and just let you guys know that yes, we are getting that breakout, but some of those lower time frames are still looking for some more downside. And again, because we're in that low volume gap, things could get crazy and we could just shoot up. And I am leaning bullish because of the higher time frames, having the money flow coming up into the green. However, you just want to be aware of those divergences on the lower time frames with the money flow coming out because that, again, can cool us off before we get that next move up. But again, I would have to lean towards we will eventually see that 28 to 30K level as long as those money flows on those higher time frames are not lying to us and we're not just going to get a dip into the green and then right back into the red. It does look like we could have a big move on the horizon. And with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for today's market update. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide.